your boy HD. Everybody get up on the dance floor and go, and go, and go crazy. And go crazy. And go crazy. And go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the old to go crazy like a dum-dum. East side homeboy, where I come from. Dance on the floor till you go numb. No fighting, no hating, no red rum. City, all the way to the bay, hit the bass, feel me. Catch a case, cause it's beating up your Chevy. Get you moving side to side, getting all sweaty. Make it work it, work it, work it out. Turn the volume up loud. It's a dry crowd, make it all shout. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Hit play on the track and I'm ready. The quarterback, Tom Brady. Get you all in the friends. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Go, go, go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, go, go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Go, go, go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, go, go crazy. All the way from the O to
See, what's going on, family? What y'all don't know is Win gets Kels and I ready for that intro song with his own little pre-playlist that we have going on. So by the time this song hits, like we're in full party mode. So when it goes on, I'm still like, our residual jams in my head from before we ever even go live. It's funny. What's going on, Scoop Nation? It is 8:04. Boom, just hit the dial. 8:04. It is time to start the show, and we are so glad that you decided to take a few moments, sit back, relax, and join the conversation with the crew. We've got a really good show in store for you. We got the fire starter, gonna finish it on out. Y'all, it's gonna be a good show. We've had a lot go on in this last week, okay? A lot go on in this last week in the rest of the real world. So we're going to unplug a little bit, okay? We're gonna unplug and plug into some other sides of things. So yeah, we're so glad that you're here. If you would, go ahead and hit that share button. Go ahead and let your crew know where you are. Tell them it's time for them to unplug too. It's Tuesday, but it's been a rough week already from last week. Since the last time we were here, we've had a lot go on from Tuesday to Tuesday. So it's time for us to unplug as a family. So go ahead, tag your folks in and go ahead and hit that share button. Let us know where you're tuning in from. It's time for the scoop, y'all. It's time. Sis, how you doing over there? How's Tuesday treating you?
You know, Tuesday has been a Tuesday for me, the new Monday. So I've been busy all day like always, and now I'm relaxing with my people out there. So yeah, ready to kick it with y'all in our live tonight. Get my mind off. It's been a long week. It is just Tuesday. Been a long week.
Yeah.
How you doing? How you doing?
I'm good. Can't complain. Long week too, but yeah, I got a text today that I'm like, I got a text from Trey about an hour ago. I was like,
oh, we miss you, Trey.
So yeah, I'm good. I am good, bro. How you doing, Steve?
I'm good. I can somewhat breathe better this week. We're doing better than I've been doing for the last two, so I'm good. And as always, I'm happy to be sitting here with the fam.
Yeah,
decompressing and relaxing and things.
All that good stuff.
For sure.
No doubt. What's up, Dot Tuck?
Hey. Dentist in the house. What's going
Right,
on?
right. I needed you last week, bro. I needed you last week. You left. It's all good.
Yeah, y'all got to be here for your boy.
Man, they just leave me out here to fend for myself, for the brothers.
I know. This ain't no good.
It's all good.
In the brotherhood. But y'all
Yeah.
ain't the max.
We got to have a meeting or something.
A meeting of the minds. So that'll go ahead and bring us right on into hot topic. Y'all know what time it TI is. While I am getting myself together, I want y'all to remember to hit the like button on our Facebook page. Follow us and subscribe to the YouTube channel at The Real Scoop Show. And our Facebook group is The Scoop Show. And you'll see the lovely green box are our faces and know that you are in the right spot.
Thank you, sis.
Yes. Look, I'm trying to get that to my place. Also remember that the Hot Topics are brought to you by Curvy Kitten Clothing, and we're going to give you a little clip of one of our next projects, which is the dating show Bay or Bye. Episode 1 is getting really close to being aired. So y'all sit back, relax, take a peek at Bay or Bye.
About to do to go.
Anybody will want to date with me because shit, it's me. It's me. What you talking about? I'm fun.
What would you like to do that's fun on a date?
That's fun on the date. I like to be a little bit active. Now I don't like to sweat, so don't take me running or nothing. But maybe a little what's that called? Miniature golf. We can do that. That's fun. I like to eat. Eating is fun. Let's go to a restaurant.
Yeah. What in dating has been a problem for you in the past?
What's been a problem for me in the past, really, has been being able to actually date. Like the starting point. That's why I say a half a date. So, God took me to the beach. We had intimate conversations. And we, had a nice kiss. It was just, it was romantic. It was nice.
What you trying to do? I'm trying to slide.
Date someone if you're busy.
Because I am good with managing my time. I mean, and that's just a vague way to put it, but I think with the amount of effort that I put up on the table, a woman coming at least halfway, or at the most halfway, is enough. Will make enough.
So, what's one characteristic that you look for in a woman that, like, anybody you deal with, they have to have?
One is hygiene. I guess it's like it's other stuff that's needed, but that is super important. Honesty, even when it hurts, like you gotta have just 100% honesty.
I'm on my element. And why you laughing so hard? Yeah, making me hesitant. 2:30 in the morning, I'm drunk calling. Is this embarrassing? Your cute little laugh is adorable. And girl, I'm feeling it. Now I'm on my 6th shot.
I never realized he said hygiene until today. He said hygiene. Wait.
And then the little woman in the corner and the dog followed. I was like, oh my God.
That was the first time I realized that he said hygiene. I was like, wait, did he just say hygiene?
He did.
That's funny.
Kels, you still muted, sis.
Oh,
go ahead.
There you
that's not even the tip of the iceberg on what's to come. That is so, that is so crazy. So yeah, I am very excited, y'all. So, and I want to mention that the music is from a group called TK3. They're from Little Rock, I believe. I don't remember that's where they still are, but some very young men, believe 19, 20, and they did the soundtrack for Bay or Bye. So yeah, special time. It's really, 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 really good. So definitely want to give a shout out to them. taking us right on into these hot topics. Now, the first one is about toxic traits. So yeah, we starting off pretty deep. We started off in the deep end tonight. Yes. So it says my toxic trait is when I'm going through something stressed, depressed, or whatever. I tend to stop talking to everyone, and when I'm okay again, I start back communicating with everyone like nothing ever happened. It's not that I'm being funny acting, I just deal with things alone. So it is a toxic trait. We posted this, and a lot of people could relate.
Mm-hmm.
This actual trait, and some talked about maybe other, toxic things or toxic traits that they had going on. I'll go with you first, Kim. What was your thought?
Yeah, so I commented on this one. I think that yes, this is toxic. And yes, I have done it before. It is something that I've had to recognize and work on. What I noticed on the post was that a lot of people said that they did it. There were quite a few people who say, yes, this is me. But there were also quite a few of those same people who said, but this isn't toxic. It's just something that I need to do for myself. It's just how I process things. And I don't know, and I can respect that perspective because it is from the I space. I don't know if people understood that this came more or less, this is recognizing how it's toxic for the people who love you. Like it's toxic to the relationships of the people around you. No, it doesn't feel toxic to you in that moment because it's what you personally feel that you need. You know what I'm saying? But I think people no one wants to be toxic. Like no one wants to say the thing that I do is a toxic thing. But and in fact, and it can poison. The definition of toxic is poisonous. It can poison your relationships when you just bounce back like that. Hey, I'm back. You know what I mean? And everyone is just supposed to just forget the fact that they worried about you. They've reached out to you. They've, done all of those things that friends, true friends, people who love you, do. And they've been met with nothingness. So they're supposed to now just go on with that. No explanation, no fill in the gaps, no nothing. So I think this was one of the, and like I said, I've done this. Y'all both know I'm good for a withdrawal. You know what I mean? I'll go dark in a minute and be like, yeah, I think it's not for the scoop being our consistent link, making it so that I can't go dark. That has been one of the things that has forced me out of that. So even when I don't have a whole lot to say, like I have to say something, because not saying something will have you in the car coming across the city and Winston and hey, you know what I mean? Like what's really good, right? because that's not our way, exactly, just like that. So I think you just have to own it. You have to own it.
What did you think about it, Win? Our stable guy.
Absolutely agree that it is toxic. Absolutely think that it is toxic, and I've done it. I've done it. I think the toxic part is that, and we saw this on the post in several of the comments. Shout out to Shatavia for being the first one to say it on the post. That you have to communicate. Yep. And not, I appreciate, I don't know if you all saw the post, but I appreciated the discussion between Shatavia and Sasha when she said this is actually very toxic. All you have to do is communicate that this is what you need, and people who really care about you should give you the space to do that. And I think that that's one of those things that comes with time in a relationship and learning one another. Like let's say at this point, I know certain things I know when Q is ready to disappear. I know that. I know when to say, you need a break. You all right? You know what I mean? Like we know that now about one another. So and same thing. Like y'all people like, bro, you okay? You something ain't right. Like y'all, we know it comes with time and having the freedom and the invitation to do that to one another. So I think it is toxic, but I think one half of it is the people in your life have to be able to say, hey, what you're doing is not healthy for our relationship. How can we How can we handle when you're about to go into this? Can you say something to me so I know? Like, you got to work through that before it happens or right after it happens, so that way it doesn't continue to happen, because you will not maintain healthy relationships if this is the way that you function on a regular basis.
And just to bounce kind of off of what Q said, and speaking to the side that don't think it's toxic. I mean, it's a lot of things about us that we don't realize what it is until somebody points it out. So even commenting on the post may not have clicked. So I think when we get into, it's not toxic to you, but the reason it is toxic to me is because when you don't talk to me, you make me think either you're in danger or you're mad at me, you know what I mean, or something like that. Yeah. I think we don't really take it to the next level of communication. So yeah, I don't know. I think we just we stop at, okay, it's toxic, but how do we fix it, or how do we stop it so that it doesn't continue to poison? So when someone withdraws from you, how does it make you feel? And I'm asking both of you, like, what goes through your mind if a friend withdraws?
For me, I'm okay with the withdrawal if I know that you need it. I don't necessarily, I'm one of those people that I will allow you to tell me everything you need to tell me from A to Z, or I will allow you to tell me little to nothing at all. But the only thing that I really, really ask of the people that like I check up on and like I reach out to and communicate with regularly is that you let me know something. Hey, I need a little bit. I'm okay. I'm working through something. I'll be back. Okay, cool. I won't dig. I won't pry. I won't do any of those things because that's a boundary you're setting. When you tell me just that, you know what I mean? Hey, I'm going through something. I need a minute. I'll be back. If you wanted to, it's me. If you wanted to tell me more, you have plenty of space and opportunity to tell me more. So I'm going to respect that boundary that you set by just letting you be. Appreciate that. You know what I mean? When I see you show back up, I'll be the first one to check in on you. Hey, I might send you a text every once in a while, just say I'm thinking about you. You don't even have to reply. I just need you to know I'm thinking about you. Boom. And let it go on. But without that, I am wondering what happened. I'm replaying all our last interactions. I'm replaying the text message. I'm scrolling through the text messages. I'm checking them. They ain't like they have stupid stuff. They're like romantic. Like, I don't know why people don't realize when you are invested in someone and from a heart space, whether it be platonic or romantic, those types of things still affect you in the same way. Withdrawals, ghosting, things like that still affect you in the same way. You realize that. You know what I mean? Like, what did I do? Like, damn, we used to do the thing. We had plans to do the thing, and now it's time to do the thing, and I can't even get a text back when it's time to do the thing. Like, so it's bigger than that. You know what I mean? If I love you, I love you, and I want to make sure that you're okay. You know what I mean? I need to know that you're okay. And when you just what's really going on here,
Yeah. I was like, before we go to win, let's get into some of these comments. We have one from Shamar. Hey, Shamar.
Hey, girl.
Sometimes people can project how they feel or their advice on things you have going on, and it's also overwhelming. Sometimes it takes a step back from it all. But yes, we should communicate that versus just stepping back without communication. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly right. Janae says, guilty. I'm very guilty of this. I mean, I think we all are to the point, but I know even when I'm in this state of mind, I know I'm not thinking about how it affects other people. It's like, I mean, I don't know if it's even that you're not thinking about it or even if it's like you're miserable, so you want them to be miserable too. Like we have to get that real with ourselves and stuff is going to start to change.
Yep.
I don't think we ever take it that far. What's your thoughts, Win?
Agree, because I'm telling you, you go quiet on me too many times. I move on with my life. Like that's just like I'm like either I did something and they ain't telling me, or they having something, or they don't. You know what I mean? Or I didn't do something and they on their thing. But either way, I got to go on. I can't, because after all, like you said, after all of the acrobatics and emotion, in my mind that I go through and the mental like questions, and did I do something, thinking through all these conversations and wondering, I'm exhausted.
Mhm.
And so it's like, you know what? I have extended this much energy trying to figure out. And all you had to say was, "Hey, I'm going through something. Give me a little while. I'll holler at you later."
Mhm.
That's it. That's literally all you got to say is, "Hey, I need a minute. Can I get back with you whenever I'm cool?" And my only thing I'm going to say is, if you need me, call me. I'm unlike you. I'm not going to text you. I'm not going to check up on you and be like, "You good?" You told me you need space, so I'm going to give you that. You know what I mean? Like, you know, unless the Holy Ghost tells me to do something, I'm not going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm out.
There's a example in the next comment from Miss Candace Payne. Hey, Candace.
What's up, sis?
I remember offending someone by disappearing. They really took it personal. I just needed time, but didn't properly communicate it because I didn't want anyone to force themselves on me. But I stopped doing that because I saw it can hurt those who really care.
Yeah. A couple people said that on the post too, that they don't. I think Sasha said that. She said, "I don't feel like explaining myself." And my thinking is, I respect that, but just tell me, like, "Hey, I really want to talk about it."
Yeah.
Got it. Like, and I'm not even hurt, but you know what I mean? That's my cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't always want to talk about it either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everybody is,
yeah, so that's why I get it. But again, I also understand the perspective of, like, it seems easier to just pull back. So I think, Kels, to your point, how do we stop it? We stop it by you know, just like we have certain conversations before we enter into a relationship. I think that in friendships we should have those same conversations. Like, how do you deal with these situations? What do you need from somebody when you're going through something? Like, you know, ask those types of questions. I think that helps. Because typically in friendships, I personally have never asked what did my friends.
I'm like, Win, I don't know, Win. That's going a little far. I don't know if I'm asking my homegirl, "Hey, girl, how do you process?"
I do, because I need to know.
I can see it coming up as it comes up. Like,
in the midst of something.
Like, yeah, but I don't know if I could be like hanging out. We just now, you know, we hanging out.
Having drinks.
If we, and maybe it is like we need to talk about it, but I need to know.
How do you process your depression?
Look, I'm like, do you deal with that? Have you ever been depressed? Oh, how do you deal with it? Like, I just need to know, because if this is up, that
is the pastor handling you.
Yeah.
We not doing
it is.
That's the pastor.
Yeah, I won't.
So anybody that's friends with Win, he's gonna be asking us.
I got questions. I need to know what we doing.
Well,
you'll slide it in on a slick scenario, so you don't know you telling your business, but he gonna get the juice that he needs. Okay, he gonna put you in a situationship on a randomness across the table, and you'll find yourself telling your life.
Have no idea that you done told me everything. I'm just like,
right. Yeah, that's unique to you. But no, I think if more people realize that it hurts the other person's feelings, then it would, you know. I don't think that far if we're the person on that side, like we don't even think about it, you know, going that deep with friendship. Yeah. Yeah. What makes it toxic is when they just disappear without giving us a little bit of info at all. I mean, it's just like, you know, you have to think about it. It's just like ghosting. If it was a romantic relationship, I mean, it's the same thing. You know, you just wonder why you feel bad. And people be like, I mean, it is not like people pleasing. You just like, I mean, it's human. Yeah. You're gonna wonder what happened. So yeah, that is mental stress. The next time. See, I honestly withdraw because I hear, "Oh, I understand, but can you do such and such?" I will actually reach out to people that I genuinely believe will actually hear me. It's not okay, and I need to fix it.
She's right. I do.
Sinead, to your point, I know we got to go on, but I just want to say, I think you are still being smart, though, in how you do that. Those people who will say, that's good, but can you such and such, are the people you shouldn't necessarily confide in. Those people who you can vent to and will hear you and give you that safe space to do what you need to do are the people you should be open with. You know what I mean? Because those people aren't hearing you. They're acknowledging you said words, but they're not necessarily hearing you know, and processing that you are actually needing them to give you some space. So, you know, I hear what you're saying, and I appreciate that you're trying to fix that and seek out safer people to have those conversations with. Those first people, don't say nothing to them people. Like those are
but that's crazy because you have some people. I mean, I had a close friend before that I felt that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I mean, they would even say and be like, I know I'm just telling all my problems. How you doing? What about you? And go right on into back what they were talking about, like all the time. So yeah, I get that. Definitely get that. That's a problem too. People need to wake up to that. Oh, this next argument.
Wait. What? Take a deep breath.
Now, why
Now I gotta go back and see which one it is.
Oh, look at me. I
Oh.
told you I'll be honest with myself. Look at me. That was wrong. I should not have judged and brought that post up like that. Now y'all all got let's start over. Okay. Okay. The original post says Black men deserve love doesn't require spending money first. But I want to read the caption. It says, yeah, read it again, because some of y'all gonna have a problem with this one, but it's not up for debate. He is a human deserving of love. Open your mouth and let your brain have a combo first. We'll get there. And what you really selling though, sis? We don't talk about love. So oh, this age-old argument. I'm gonna go to Win first, just because y'all both giving me faces that's on opposite ends of the spectrum, in my opinion.
I don't really see why this is an argument, to be honest with you. I absolutely agree with the post.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even, there's really like, what's the, if, you know, I was thinking earlier about something, and I thought a word that kept coming up in my mind is value. And like, though I can't fault somebody with their system for their system of values because they're there for a reason. I think as a man, what I have to do is I have to learn your values and then determine if your values align well with mine. Mm-hmm. So if your value system is that money has to be, love has to be in there with money, and that's not my value system because I don't want that type of lifestyle or whatever, I have to be okay with that. But I don't see why this is a problem. I really don't.
Okay. You?
Yeah, I didn't really disagree. I actually agreed with the post. Like, I agree with the post. Somehow we got on the fact that this was about a date, and somehow men were trying to get out of paying for dates, and that this post went way left for me. I don't know how this post got to be combative, because there was another post that was similar to this about Black women. I think it was one that we had on the show last week as a hot topic, and everyone was like, yes, exactly, yes. And I was like, and it was like, it was an obvious parallel, you know, a mirror of the other post. And then for whatever reason, we went completely left on this one. So I said, okay. And I even asked later on, you know, like, how did we get this direction? You know what I mean? Where did we go with this? So I guess it was just one of those meme rabbit holes that we tend to go down. But I absolutely agree with this.
I mean, I like, when I saw that, when I read her caption, that's what my mind went to. When it says, you know, I know I may get some debate or argument from this. I automatically went to the whole men paying for dates, you know, scenario. That's what I thought about. That's an argument about that. I even asked a question today, not even really remembering that this was one of our hot topics, but that was one of my Tell the Truth Tuesday questions was about, can you date someone for a month for free?
Oh.
And it really, I got busy and I didn't really get to, you know, go back and comment on the post, but I did. I remember it wasn't necessarily with the same person, but I went on like not a month worth of dates, but 4 or 5 dates without we didn't spend any money.
Yeah, you can do it.
We had some cool dates. That's why I'm like, so yeah, the whole argument about spending money on dates, I think we have gotten past that.
Well, and I think again, I think what we talked about, like when we talked about women, there is a group of women. We talked about the whole coffee date thing. Like there's a group of women out there that absolutely are not going to go for it.
Yeah.
Again, that's why I think it's values. I think we just have to find people who align with our values. I don't have a problem paying for a date. I think the issue comes with the expectation or saying that it's a requirement for love.
Yeah.
So that's where I think the issue is. And I don't understand dudes who have problems paying for dates. Like I don't get that either. So if you're gonna date somebody, pay for the date, bless the date. What's the big deal?
Right.
Jesus, wow.
I do that too. I do think that I'm like, but I mean, I don't understand what's so offensive by it. We said we'll pay for some of the dates. Some of us said we'll take you on date. I mean, it's not a big deal. So why y'all?
I don't want you to take me. I don't want you to pay for no. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm just saying.
I'm different. Don't pay me no attention.
Right. I'm just saying, even for the sentiment of we tired of doing,
yeah.
Rabbit hole that it seems like 3/4 of the men are sliding down. Nowadays, it's just like, okay, yeah. We listened, we tried to change, and y'all still over here talking.
I think just like we were talking earlier about the whole holiday thing, I think the bottom line is men have to be honest. And I said this, men have to be honest and say the reason this really bothers us. The reason this bothers us is because we don't feel like there is anything reciprocal being done for us. And that's fine that you feel that way. But again, if she then says after I don't have a problem paying for the third date. First of all, I don't even know how that conversation comes up.
Right.
If you know what I mean, like if somebody does that, then fine. And if that's what you value and she doesn't do it, then move on. Like, okay, we've been on 3 dates. We've had some conversations. We just don't have the same value system.
Let's keep it pushing. Yep.
We can't move on. We hold on to every interaction or potential relationship, courtship, whatever you want to call it. We hold on to it like that's gonna be the last. This is gonna be the last one.
All while saying they don't want to be married.
Yeah. Truth and fighting.
Hold on, how we get the marriage? How did marriage get in here? Hold on, we ain't talking about marriage now. Hold on.
No, we're not. But that's what I'm saying. Like we hold on to all of it, won't let it go, but then won't lock it down either.
Yeah, which way you do that? And be complaining the whole time. Like I don't understand. People that complain about anything in a relationship, I'm like, I don't understand why there. Like, I give you a year. I give you a year to say, hey, let me see. This don't bother me. But if something is bothering you for a year, get out of there.
Yeah, it's not gonna change. You've been all through all the phases of mad that you're gonna get about this thing. Yeah. Whatever you've done, you've already done it, and it's not gonna change. So if after you move on. I agree.
I mean, and no matter how far advanced we get, whoever has the masculine energy, alpha energy, whatever you want to call it, is going to be the person that pays. So stop it. If you're the person that say you are alpha, pay. I mean, that's a new rule I'm going to make in my life. If you're an alpha woman or whoever is the alpha person in the relationship, that's who pays. That's who pay all the bills. That's who make all the decisions.
Do you feel better?
If it's two alphas, there you go. If there's 2 alphas, it ain't gonna work. So go find you a beta person. Let's just end out of confusion. Yeah. I think that
it's gonna balance one way or the other. It's gonna have to balance one way or the other.
It's gonna have to. Let's cut it out. But yeah, we all agree that Black men deserve love. It doesn't require spending money.
Yes.
And after that one, this next topic, I'm putting things together. When I was going over the hot topics, I'm like, okay, we moving right along to the next.
Yeah.
Moving right along.
Man, Womenators Club this week. Jeez.
Right. All right. Nearly a third of women have gone on dates just for free food. And from the infamous Earl Phillips, Earl, Two Big Guns.
My first question is: have the two of you, either one of y'all, ever gone on date for food?
Who?
No.
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 I mean, not. I mean, really, and I'm honestly thinking, because even if it's somebody that I don't think I would be attracted to, I'm not going on a date with them. Like, I'm not the person that's like, oh, give him a chance. I'm like, no. No.
No. And no, just no.
No.
I don't leave the house unless I can pay for my own meal in the first place. So it is not about the free
I mean, but
food.
you can still do that and go for the free food, and then that way, if you pay for it, then, you know.
No, I'm not gonna be able to fake it. If you've seen me try and have a conversation that I do not want to have online. Imagine my face to face with somebody. No, my mouth would have to stay full of food, a straw, or something to be able to divert.
I'll be trying to get my stuff to go. I'll be like, get there, order, tell the waitress, can you bring mine to go? Then you'll know that's for free food. But no, I don't think I've ever, because if it's somebody I'm not interested in, I'm not even going there. So I ain't going to say that.
Go ahead and say it.
Wait, so what makes you think we have?
Oh, I don't. I was just wondering.
Oh, okay.
First of all, I don't think Q's ever gone out to dinner with anybody but Jane. So
Right. I have had dates, just not many.
3 dates over there.
Now, Kels, I don't think you would go out just for food, but I could see you going out with somebody, getting there, not liking him, and then like, you know what? I'm about to stay here and get me a plate. I don't care. Well, I'm here already. I done got dressed.
You know, I've stayed before, but it still really wasn't to get free food, because most of the time, I don't want to say most of the time, but yeah, I have stayed that I wasn't really feeling somebody, but it wasn't necessarily to get free food, because I always, you know, because I'm buying extra stuff, and so if they don't feel comfortable, I'll be like, well, I'm supposed to get what I want to get. Pay what you're gonna pay. So right. And that may turn some men off. I don't know, but
wait. So you go on dates and then tell them you gonna get what you wait. We'll say that again.
No, I'm saying it's never like I guess
abort. I don't
think anybody would think I'm going on a date for the food. Let's go put it that way. I mean, because dating is different. A lot of men think that, so I make it a point to let them know that ain't going on over here. So when I'm there, I was saying, if I meet them there, I've already had my drink and appetizer already, probably like.
So so you're saying they come pick you up, and you let them know up front it ain't gonna be no goings on. So if that means you're gonna pay.
No. And I just let them know that. I don't know. It just depends on what type of person it is. I'm just saying, I've been on dates before where I've felt the test, like when the waitress test come, and I could see the test. I could see the big in her eyes, like, let me see if what she gonna say. You know, 1 or 2 chicks or whatever. And so the waitress will come up, and sometimes I'll just flex. So the waitress will come over, I'll be like 1 chick, and then I can see them being all, you know, whatever, and I'll be like, yeah, I got that. You know what I mean? Like, I let it be known. Yeah, Kels ain't coming for no free food, dude. I'm big. I can get food.
Clean that up. Go ahead, clean that up. That was good. That's good. That's good. First of all, stop doing that. Not being funny. Don't do that no more. And I understand the point of doing that, but as your brother, I'm telling you, don't do that, because stop letting dudes off the hook. If they invite you out for dinner, let them pay for it. And if they have a problem with it, or they don't have it, that's fine. But you are the type of woman. You are. I ain't going to go to you worth it. No, you. If he invited you out, pay for it. Like, what's the big? This is not a big deal.
I mean, in that, I would expect them to, but I'm saying I've been in situations where I could tell that the guy was trying to test to see. Like, it's obvious. You waiting to take your wallet out, or you waiting? You know what I mean? Like, it's really obvious. Not even smooth with it. So.
That's stupid. Let him play himself. Pay for that damn check. Pay for the check, sir. If you take it out, pay for the check.
It's not like you're gonna let him come and take you out again anyway, so you might as well.
Yeah. And that hasn't happened. That hasn't happened in a long time. That's a long time. But I'm just saying,
for the check. You ask her.
I don't like that. I don't like any. I don't want to be put in that category of playing the damsel in distress ever. So I let that.
Playing the damsel in distress. Playing the damsel in distress is if you couldn't pay for it and you were going out, but you have it. He invited you out, so let him man up. Let him handle. Let him be Big Willie. Do what he do. If he can't do it, and that's all he got for the rest of the week, that's on him.
Yeah, I'm not saying they can't. I'm just saying if somebody put me through that test, then I'm gonna pass it.
Girl, he failed because he messed up testing a real one. So
he failed. I mean, and that happened on a date one time, and we were supposed to go somewhere else. And you think I didn't pack my stuff up? Was at my car, and he was over there. I'm sorry. Everything in here, and I went in there and I lit that bill up. I'm just saying, it ain't. I'm just saying, it's not. I don't try to test someone about that. I think men just come up with. They just have this. Some of them just have this guard already. Like, you're not gonna take my money from you, and that's the furthest thing from my mind. So I guess that's what I'm thinking in my head. And I said it before. It probably does come off a little alpha-ish doing it, but yeah.
Any comment? All right.
I bet those men expect the sex after that free food. Yeah.
Well, I wanted it.
Let's see. Mm-hmm. Oh, this is to the question of have you take, with your date for a free meal. It says, I haven't. My time is more valuable to sitting through someone I don't like just to eat a meal. That will let me know I need to get my funds right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What type of man is attracting that type of woman? Where are these women? I've never ran into one. For free meals? Which woman you talking about, Nancy?
Oh, they out here. They younger though. I think they're much younger than.
Yeah. I'm sure of it. Like that whole, we see those jokes and things about like women saying they have a man for different things, like to pay for different things or just a guy that they have hanging on just for free food and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm sure it's people out there.
Sure.
Like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Whoever asks the other out pays. Yeah, that is definitely a good rule to follow. Do y'all think if women ask men out there prepared to pay? I think so. Because a lot of women are not asking. But
I don't think a lot of women are. I think a lot of women are saying, hey, we should get out, and like the idea of them being with them is the thing that they're giving. Yeah, I'm making time to spend time with you. You know what I mean? And some men are fine with that. And she will show up pretty as can be and happy to be there and fully expecting him to swipe their card at the end of the day. Like, and he'll do it. You know what I mean?
I can see that scenario. I guess again, it's all about perception, because I'm thinking if a woman is that forward, because a lot of women are not even gonna do that. If a woman is that forward to ask for a date, I'm thinking they probably prepared to. But yeah, I can see. Okay, I can see.
Yeah, check with your folk. Check with your woman before you show up thinking she's about to do that because she asked you out. Check, make sure you know that's the type of chick you're dealing with.
You know they ain't doing that.
Yeah, everyone is
somebody who thinks they're cute, especially with somebody they think they're cute.
Yeah.
The dating game is different. I respect Kels. Thank you. John says, honestly, that's why it's best for a man to get his finances together before getting romantically involved. I believe that's true too, because you know, we hate to even talk about finances, but there's little things that is expected when you're dating.
Mhm.
If you don't want to do those, then just don't date. And I think we have gotten so free that you know, those things are discussed. Like just, you know, a birthday card or something like that. If you're that strapped or you can't get, you know, a person you're trying to be involved with or hanging out with a birthday card or a little something, you know. So yeah, I do think you ought to have some kind of, I don't think you got to be where you want to be in life financially, but you got to have some kind of something.
Yeah, be en route.
Yeah. Let's see what the next one is.
When's thinking? What you have when he's like,
So
Yeah, what you have when you
if I agree with that, y'all, the man part of me absolutely agrees that a man should have his finances together before being romantically involved. But the other part of me says again, then are we now going back previously saying, are we tying his value to his money? I could see again the ethic or being in process saying like, I'm not going to date a man who ain't got his finances together, but who's not even trying. That's different. But if we're saying he's trying, he's working his butt off, he's doing it, and I'm still not going to give him an opportunity, I think that man should be seen different than the man who is just at the house chilling, playing Xbox, PlayStation all day, ain't thinking about trying to do better for himself, driving you to work and dropping you off and coming back home. That guy is different from, because to me, the value is not the money, the value is the work ethic. So that's kind of the. Go ahead, Karen.
I would say that's to a point too, because
and
I've had to come to terms with that, because I feel like I was that he got potential. I probably had to let her pee in the middle of my forehead. If he was breathing, I can make you better. Let's come on. Now I can't do it. Even if I give you a chance, it's gonna take 2 conversations. I'm gonna be like, okay, we in this. You said you in the finance. I'll let them bring it up. Okay, you let me know what's going on. So, what we got to do to fix it. You got to hear at your mama's garage. What's going on? What we doing?
Like I said, I think it just
And if they get offended at that, then you don't want to be with me. That's why I said. So sometimes it still depends on. It just depends on what you're looking for.
Agree. Yeah. So it goes back to value. I think yeah.
But it's not that
y'all know my thing. My thing is when I was busted, I'm not dating nobody. I don't care what they say. So I get that. But at the same time, I
had to realize there is a whole cohort of men that date to come up. It is serious. Like I've talked to guys like on the phone, or something like that. That's why I had to just delete all the dating apps. But I remember having conversations with men, and when they would talk about being successful, like it was always connected to either a woman giving them their money or giving, and I heard that too many times. I'm like, I don't know if you were like, wait, pimp? You think you about to pimp me? I mean, what's going on in the situation? So yeah, just I don't have no money because I don't have no girl. No, you don't have no money because you don't have no job. Like what's
right? That's what I'm saying. That dude, no, don't date that dude.
No, I know not that. I'm just saying it's a lot of this. You don't know until they start talking.
It's a lot.
It's more than
I like that. Is that
I realize? It's more than I realize is what I'm saying.
And it's not even like I have overheard some of these conversations that have made me stop and say that is some of the weakest whack, and like being one of the only women, because y'all know I'm one of the only women in a lot of these conversations among men, right?
You're right.
So like I get to be the fly on the wall until I just happen to say something. They're like, oh, like they tell their youngins, the sons, if it's one of the crew that's going through, they tell them, hey, bro, you need to find you a chick who got da-da-da-da-da, and she'll set you up, you get your stuff together, sit back, relax. And I'm sitting back thinking, if I ever hear you tell my son, if I ever find, let me find out. Like, I want to fight everybody in the room that's high-fiving, tapping down, co-signing, anything to do with it, because it is absolutely a thing. Like, it is absolutely a thing. Not saying that they say that that's how they want to be forever, But they say if you in that space, because they know that every man low key goes through this space in life. And they think that the way that you get over that hump is not to dig in and get your work done. No, it is to find a chick who is going to help ease it over just a little bit while you can sit back, relax, and get your stuff together. That there is definitely
I'm telling you, Women Crush Wednesday is all for it. That's why Women Crush Wednesday and Hump Day is all the same day. They gonna say they got a crush on you, and they gonna need to get over. They want to hump too. They want to hump and get over a hump.
And get over it. Yes. And I hate to say it, but it is absolutely so. I've witnessed it. It's crazy.
It is crazy. Now I don't know if it's a regional thing.
Wow.
I don't know the regional thing, but I know in these waters, the pond out here in Oklahoma.
Wow.
It's full of.
I'm.
Yes, Trent Weaver. I mean, it is. You know, and I'm at a point where I'm just like, why? Why are we even dating? Like I be wanting to tell my friends why. They be like, I'm going on a date. I be like, why? Why? Right. I just want to be in this space, but at least I'm still not frosty though, you know. I'm not frosty. I'm like, it's hard out here. And Winfrey got all these dating relationship questions, honey. Oh Lord. Okay. We're going on to the next. I think we wrapped it up good about the ladies having it hard.
Yeah.
Let's see. So this lets us breathe a little bit. Says some men don't only come for sex, some came to heal, repair, uplift, upgrade, restore, and bring out the best in a woman. That's what I got for that post. That's what I got for it. I'm looking out the window on it. I'm asleep and looking out the window. I was sorry.
Wynn's add-on to this. I liked his add-on to this. His question at the beginning, his caption, a lot of the narrative would make it seem like this isn't normal. Why? Because that'll get more into why you looked off to the left like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Start with Q on this one. Go ahead.
Yeah. What I saw so first of all, I can say that, yeah, some men don't only come for sex. Some do come. Yes, I agree with that. Okay, fine. I think, okay. What I do think though, that we are no longer making it okay to be this type of person, whether it be male or female.
I do agree.
When Will Smith made that Instagram post about it's not somebody else's responsibility to fix you, you got to find your own happy, while he was halfway across the globe because Jada was in the midst of her entanglement, and that was what he needed to say to make himself feel better. That is what everybody went off and rode off into the sunset thinking that, no, I have to create my own happy. And yes, there is some point of that. There is some understanding of that. But I don't think we really took into account the detachment that comes with saying we no longer can find joy in what someone else brings to us. So yeah, people can come for those things, but we don't look at it like that anymore because we're too busy telling everyone you're supposed to find your own joy. So you don't even seek the positive stuff that other people can bring to your life because that's not cool anymore. It's not cool to be a joy bringer, a peace bringer, a light bearer in somebody's life because everyone is seeking their own light now. Like everybody's on their own quest for their own light, which is cool. That's cool. You know what I mean? Like everybody should find their own light, be like gay. But like there is still something to be said for what people bring to your life when you've got a really good circle. So it makes it hard it makes it so much easier to be like, we're getting ourselves out of that.
Yeah. Go ahead, Wayne.
Go.
No, I was just saying because even when you think about it, I think in some respect, the men that come with these intentions usually are looked at as being controlling. Because if you think about the men who really believe in this, there are the type of men that are either militant or they that daddy, they that father figure. And I know I can see that in some men. So maybe some of the men who do have this, we're taking it as them being a-holes and they may be this person.
Now, how you do it matters. You can do it tenderly, sweetly, gingerly, in a way that makes a woman willing to be like putty in your hands and happy to make those changes. Or you can be militant. You can be an a-hole. You can be a father figure that still wants to do the thing. And that is not going to get the same results you want. She's going to act like a spoiled brat. You're going to get the response of a teenager rebelling against their dad. So it's about how you do it, especially with grown people. So you know what I mean? So like I hear that because there are some men who think that's what they're doing. And they're coming off militant. You know, your intentions can be but if your approach is that way, then yeah, you're not. All of your intentions are for naught if your delivery is whack. Like that's not gonna.
But you know, I guess I think about those men, and again, and this could, you know, it could be a reach, but I think about those men that we see, like Meet the Fockers, how that father was. Like he was an a-hole, but you had to like get to know him to know that he really didn't mean. No, he did mean harm. I mean,
he was sweet with his people, though. He was sweet.
He was still likable. Yeah, he was still likable. But I guess I'm thinking of him more in that way. Because I would still consider him to be controlling and stuff like that. He still wanted to take control of every situation, but he was a likable person, you know. So. But you said something else weird. I'm sorry.
I changed my thoughts now because I'm like,
sorry. We talk about some men only come for sex. That's why I told you to go before I went down that rabbit hole.
No. I think it was a worthwhile rabbit hole.
Oh, okay.
So, no, I think that the way it's done definitely matters. But I also think that there are instances where it's not so much the way he's doing it, but the way, like, because she's had controlling people in the past that are not used to criticism or critique or somebody trying to say, hey, this is really not healthy. Let's try this another way. That automatically gets met with, you ain't my daddy. Yeah, you know, it's like, I'm not trying to be your dad. I'm merely saying that the way that we're handling this is not beneficial for us to have a healthy relationship. So I've seen where that is received that way too. But I can definitely see it being done, because I think our tip generally we try to, if we can't communicate something well, we try to do it by force. And so like when the force comes out, then at that point it's like, okay, now it can come across as controlling, when really it's a loss of control for us. It's just the only way we know how to try to communicate that we're trying to tell what we're trying to tell you. So I can see that. But I think this is why it's beneficial to understand, like to be able to say stuff like, we'd have to understand how to deal with conflict. Like there's a way every relationship, both people have different ways that they handle conflict. How do we handle conflict? How do we, you know, what works for you? And just easy questions. In the past, what were arguments like in previous relationships? Did they work? Did they not work? You know what I mean? Like, just, so I get that it's difficult, but I also think that, like, if we want to be, we are like 35 and up, like, hell, let's go. Let's figure this out.
Right.
Like, I want to figure it out. Like, I'm not interested in arguing. I want to.
How do we avoid
war? I want to. You know what I mean? Like, I want to lay on the. I don't want to argue with you. I just know that the way that this is not helping. So, yeah. Oh, I got thoughts now. I'll go. No, one of y'all go. I got.
Well, we can either go to the next topic or because we
Yes, go ahead to the next topic.
The hour is drawn nigh.
Mhm.
So yeah, we want to go ahead and get this one in. Now this one,
Oh yeah.
Lots of conversation.
we're still on the same path, y'all. So
Hey, I didn't post all these questions. I just want to
I know you did, but I'm saying they all piled in this week, honey.
No, you dug this one up from 33 weeks ago.
30 weeks ago.
I did.
You just dug it up from eons ago.
Right. You see the date. Now, it came in my timeline. You said, so how did I miss this one in February?
Yeah. It says, my cousin left her husband and he keeps accusing her of cheating, but really she left him because he makes twice what she makes and was still insisting on her paying half the bills. Sis says she would just rather pay all her bills and not be bothered by him. Good for her. Ooh,
now read the caption.
Yeah, sorry, guys. The caption is, assuming she is the one doing all of the childbearing, cooking, cleaning, etc.
Jesus.
Oh, it's so. These arguments are so. It's like we just can't get past them.
So I'm gonna lead off. 33 weeks ago, and on today and yesterday and forevermore, I said, with all that is said in this caption and in the meme, I too would have bounced. It is the insists for me. Sis didn't say he preferred, he liked, they discussed it. He said she insists on her paying half the bills. And that was what caused an issue for me. While he still made twice the money.
Yeah.
I don't think she had any problem paying bills. She was already splitting the bills down the middle. This made me think about the behavior that was going on in relation to money within that household. It wasn't about the whole, you pay half, I pay half, I get to put this in this. Nobody mentioned the savings. Nobody said anything about splits and none of that. Like, we don't know what nobody is doing with their extra money. We don't know that. We know what is in this caption and in this opinion. and with that caption and with that meme, I think sis was done and said, I'd rather do it by my damn self, and therefore she is. And sometimes it is better to do it by yourself than to deal with having to do it with someone that you cannot see eye to eye with no matter what you got going on. I'm sorry. It just is. Especially over something like this. So
yeah, finances is big. If you can't agree on that, you definitely
got to go. The attitude about finances will always change. You will be, sometimes you will be broke as hell. Sometimes you will be balling out of control. Sometimes you will be barely making it. Money is one of them things that will always be fluid. But how you think about money, how you deal with your lover in relation to money is what breaks up relationships to me. I don't think it's the have or the have not about money. It is the how you relate your money to the people that you are in relationship with is what kills relationships. So yeah.
Kill.
I've always had an issue with the whole go half on bills. I just think it's just an argument that I don't know. I don't know how we can progress with everything except for that. And then why it's such a bad thing not to progress from the traditional role of, the breadwinner is the person that takes care of the larger bills. And I thought we had progressed to that being whichever person has the larger paycheck. I mean, yeah, so that's been my thing. Because to me, even if I'd rather somebody want to pay all my bills whether he can or not.
Yep,
it's the one for me. So if you can't do it, it's okay. But if both of us should want to take care of each other. I don't understand how we miss that. Going half these is not taking care of each other. It's just not. It's never gonna be. Never gonna be.
We're just like, oh.
y'all know how many I've had this conversation probably 1,000 times.
Yeah.
And so to me, it just never, I'm not gonna say it makes sense. So let me back up. To answer your question, Kels, the reason why this is always a big thing and we can't ever progress behind it is because everybody comes into relationships wanting to be loved, but with the posture of not being hurt.
Mhm.
So I have a defensive posture, but I'm trying to play offense. And you know that even in football, you can't play defense and offense at the same blasted time. So
Right.
that's the problem. That's really the root of the problem. As I'm afraid that you're going to take advantage of me. So I need to set up a system that makes me feel comfortable that if A, you cheat on me and leave me, or if A, you try to, I think you're going to take all my money, that I am protected. Root of it. That's really the root of it. Now, as in terms of this, the hurtful and strange part of this is his inability to have the proper discussion, and her divorcing only hurts both of them. Because now both of y'all are losing from what you really want. And so if he had have compromised then this wouldn't have happened at all. Now, as the money mentor, when I do stuff like this, I tell people there is a really serious, a really easy solution to this. And that is, again, quit trying to make this your money and my money. This is our money. And let's figure out a system that everybody puts all the money into a place, and the way it is disseminated, it's not where he's paying all of it and she's paying nothing, but there is something where both of us can win. That's the solution. And it's pretty simple, and everybody gets to find out what they value, and so you can structure a budget in the system around that. But it's pretty simple. Like, this should not lead to divorce, except, to Q's point, it's not about the money, it's about the attitude. And the attitude is, I don't trust you because I'm afraid that if something happens, I'm gonna be out here broke, or if something happens and you decide you want to leave, you're gonna take all my money.
Yeah, and I have a good example. I don't know if either one of you have ever watched the show Married at First Sight? Well, on this season, one of the major things that came, I think it is probably on, I think it's one on every season. The same familiar problems come out on all these shows. But there's a couple, I think they've ended it early because, it was a very big struggle with budget. And like, even me watching it, I was like, girl, you are tripping. And the scenario was the guy, he was a person that liked to keep a budget. He had his own home, and he's like, it's probably not in the best neighborhood, but it's what I can afford. It's mine. So I assumed she would come live with me. And she's all like, I make money. I'm going to go on trips, and I want to keep renting because it's closer to my job. And I was just sitting there. I was like, if a man told me he had a house before he could even get all of it out, say, come live with me. So he said, I'm already calling my homegirls like, girl, we about to this around. I'm going to decorate this in here. Like, I just couldn't get over it. And that was really a big deal with them. Like, neither one of them, I feel like they could trust each other because of that. Something, you think you could figure out a budget together, but if your values in that budget aren't the same, again, not going to work. Nope. Not going to work.
Yep.
So.
I would say, Jamie says, David, you're married. Why is money that big of a deal? Dude, just get you a roommate if that's what you want. Yeah, I don't think that either, like, he wants a roommate or she. I think it's just, they're just not.
Men don't see it like that. And I think this may be one of the things we have to agree to disagree on. I think someone did mention it on the post that this is one of those Mars and Venus topics that just the way we were not going to perceive it the way the other sex perceived it. It's just, I don't know what it is. I think it may be one of those topics.
I don't see it as Mars. I think we both want the same thing. I think in my experience that I've seen that everybody wants security and safety. And it's just the definition of what security and safety means. And when if we really care about somebody, then their security becomes our priority. And so I think that's the problem, is their secure. Like, if we're in a relationship and we're talking about money, and you tell me that it is valuable for you and important to you to have money in savings, and I'm like, I'm a spender. Let's spend it. Let's go.
Right.
To me, hearing that says, for me, okay, I need to make some adjustments so she can feel safe. And your response should be, okay, well then how can we budget well enough so that maybe every month we don't go on a trip, but with twice a year work. You know what I mean? Like, so now we figured out, so we both get what we want. But I'm telling you, it is really all it. I've never seen it come down to anything but this is what makes me feel safe. And all of my years, that's usually all it ever comes down to. I feel safe here.
I think to an extent, because are men really saying they're looking for security and safety if their whole ideal is to provide?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because they want to know she's not going nowhere. They want to know that I can put it out there for you, and you're going to be here when I get back, and you're going to give me what I need in return, just the way that I'm giving you what I need in return, whatever that might be. And because women have been on this independent kick where I make money too, they say, okay, we'll put it up. I'm working hard, put my money. All right, well, you put your money up like I put my money up. We meet in the middle, so we both bought in. We're both invested the same. But I don't think men get that women, while we love our money and are invested in, making good money, we are not tied to our money the same way men are. We are tied to our hearts that way. We will break bread at your place and have an account set up and be moved in somewhere else before you say it's over. You know what I mean? Like, because money is that thing, and that's how women think. Okay, it's time to go. Okay, cool, whatever. You hurt my heart. Now I'm ready to move around. That's why I say the whole pay bills. I think there are a lot of women who are willing to even be that woman who will pay more of the bills than he will pay. Like, that absolutely happens. Like, there are women who on East Coast will swear up and down they don't, but they do. You know what I'm saying? But they do. But it is when that man flips the script and now makes her feel as though she's being played, she's being used, she's being manipulated, that she's not being valued for what she's doing. Even if she doesn't ever say, I paid that bill right. I pay more of those bills right. The moment she begins to feel that way is when sis is ready to pack it up and move on around. Because that money's going to be there. She's going to work regardless if it's under your roof or her roof. She's going to make that money. So that's not that big a deal to her. But for men, in a way, that snatches you are shook. Like, men, that men down, and she got my money, man.
That's why I think these arguments. That's why I think this argument is along the line of the child support argument. It's just we not gonna receive it the same way. It's based on how women are wired, how men are wired. Even going back to us learning the physiology of things. Some arguments. Yeah, why would you have this argument with your spouse? Because you should be thinking in your mind, like Wynn suggested, how can this be a compromise? And I mean, they have on this show, they have whole experts there, asking them to compromise about it. But I mean, some of them are just holding on to what they're used to.
Yep.
So strong. Any other comments?
Mike says, why are people always concerned about somebody else's pocket? Also, we live in a day and age where gender roles are out of the window.
Yeah, but I mean, it depends on those people.
Listen, when I'm paying bills, I'm concerned about your pocket. It's really what it boils down. If our bills are together, what's in your pocket matters. So, I mean,
that's the word.
Reality, you made the student loan, help us pay them off. It's just fair. That's
And as far as that gender role thing, I think gender roles are still very alive and well with certain people. And if you are one of those people, this is for everybody, not just Mike, but he's the one who brought up gender roles. If you are a person who is willing to say no more, your team, no more gender roles, find someone else who is also team, no more gender roles.
Right.
Because you are sadly mistaken if you believe that all of a sudden everyone has just shifted into now all of a sudden we're all fluid and everybody has their gender role. That's a lie. And I'm be first sorry, boo. Okay. There are still some very grown, very, very awesome women who believe very much in you are the provider and I am the caregiver, and that's how it's gonna be. And then there are some women who are very, very fine with working just as hard as you, putting in just the same amount of money, and everything is split down the middle, and that's happy. I'm just saying, find your person and ride on off into the sunset, because when you try and mix the moon with the sun, that ain't always gonna work. Those two things happen at two different times a day, homie. Like you need to find someone who's on the same wavelength as you, because that
bring it up early.
disaster.
Bring it up early.
Yep.
But I think
That, real early. Yeah.
so. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up hot topics tonight. We went on
That was good.
we went on a good ride.
Mm-hmm.
For our topics, I'm going to pass it on over to Q for our main topic tonight.
Yes, which is going to be good, an interesting topic. I'm sure it's been making its way around the internet. But before we do that, we want to remind you that this segment is brought to you by Elegance by Design, where healthy hair and skin is our priority, but a beautiful you is always our specialty. You can purchase your all-natural hair and skincare products at Elegance by Design with a Z.com. I'm working on my lock journey at the moment, so we're gonna be chronicling that. And for those of you who are getting ready to start your locks, the Sexy Shan Cocoa Coiling Custard is what I use to set these bad boys, and we're doing real good. Got my definition popping. That back row is still popping. So yes, yeah, and that's that good old sexy shea butter right there. Yes. EleganceByDesign.com. Okay, we got a condensed main topic portion of this show, so I'm gonna get on. This subject has been going around quite a bit here lately. I don't really know what sparked it, but it is something that I've seen quite a bit here recently. So we are going to talk about, ladies, if you meet a man that's willing to pay for some type of plastic surgery, would you do it? Men, would you ask your ladies to do something like this? Is there a plastic surgery that you would pay for over another? Something like that. Yeah. So the subject of plastic surgery, body love, all of that good stuff. So I when you first brought this up, Kels, I had not seen this up. I had not seen this. And you know how, like, when you get a new car, you've never seen your car, and then all of a sudden everywhere you go, you see your car.
Right.
That's never been like this subject.
Oh yeah.
I've seen quite a few people talking about it, and you know, and saying what they would or would not do for it. So up until about 5 or so years ago, I always wanted breast implants. I feel like my body is like not proportional. I'm like tiny on the top, and then I got all this hips and these thighs and like this bottom that does all this stuff, and I didn't have a lot. So when I first met James, like that was all I would say. If I ever get, you know, a good little chunk of change, a little extra money, I'm gonna give my boots. Sometimes it'd be like, girl, stop. You know what I mean? Like, stop. He never really paid me a whole lot of attention. He'd say, you know, what men say when women bring that kind of stuff up, but he never really paid a whole lot of attention to it. Yeah. Yeah, he did. It was good. He said all the right stuff, you know. But he never really said like, no, don't do that. It was never really a don't do it. It was just like, yeah, you really don't need to do that type of thing. But I've seen this conversation come up over a course of time, and like we as a culture have changed so much on this. You know what I mean? And like now as almost a 40-year-old woman, I'm like, hey, this is the body I got. This body has made 3 babies. You know what I mean? I love this body. Like that has been a mindset shift for me. But I just think about younger women who go through these changes when they get to this to the 36, you know, they're almost 37-year-old space. Are they thinking, damn, I could have been okay with the breasts that I had, or the hips that I had, or the butt that I had, or are they truly happy with that process after the fact? Because honey, you could have told me that I wasn't feeling any type of way about wanting my boobies done. Like I was adamant about it and was fine with it, confident in that thought process. Until I wasn't. You know what I mean? Even with my husband telling me that I was beautiful, he was fine with it. Just okay. And I know you'll love them too. Watch. Like that was my response to that. And you're gonna love them when I get, you know, that was how I felt about that. So when I saw this question, it made me think about my transitions of thought. You know what I mean? So have you guys ever thought about something like that, or would you want to do something like that? And like a then and now, do you have a then and now type of perspective? And of course, Anthony.
I will say this: looking at that picture, I'm like, sign me up for 2 of them. 2/3.
She got snatched, didn't she? Snatched.
Yes, I was like, now. And I think I have mentioned this before but and it and not saying it's a good thing. It's not a good thing at all. But I remember being a little kid, and I was teased. I was never really like an unpopular kid, but I was always developed. Like I had breasts and stuff in the 3rd grade. I started my cycle in the 4th grade. It might have been 3rd grade through 3rd or 4th grade. So I was always, even when I wasn't fat, I was, called fat because I'm in the 3rd grade with titties,
Yeah.
So I remember thinking as a child, I remember that I would, if I could just have plastic surgery to just change everything. I always thought about I'm sure I wasn't calling it plastic surgery then.
Yeah.
I was just saying, and I remember when I saw the show, I don't know if I remember that show, Ugly Duckling, where they used to do the full makeover and all that stuff. And I remember the first time I saw that, I was like, man, I used to think about stuff like that when I was really, really young. And that's not a good thing. That was sad because I was ashamed of my body. And that's probably what made me overeat. That's what made me get bigger. I would have grew into it. I probably would have been fine. But yeah, what we think about our bodies is the same thing. Even when we think about our hair.
Yeah.
Women in appearance, like we were talking about men and money, women in their appearance. We think we do it for men. Yeah, maybe a little bit, but most of the time we're doing it for other women. What we doing? We're comparing ourselves to other women all the time.
One thing James has told me since we've been together, he said, you can talk a lot, you can tell women a whole lot of stuff. He said, but the thing that'll crush a woman's soul, tell her feet big. He was like, say something random like she got big feet. He said she will stop the complete conversation and like when she's at home by herself, she's thinking, look at her feet, trying on all the shoes. Is the left foot bigger than the right foot? That's the crazy stuff my husband talks about, but it is so true. He's got 5 sisters, so he knows. You know what I mean? Like he's like, that's the kind of stuff that gets them in their soul. When you say random stuff like that, he's like, you don't care you calling no B. Like they call each other that. He was like, you tell her big, it's a wrap. Like she's gonna cry. It's a dead deal. I was like, oh my God, he's right. But oh my God, we should not be this easy.
It's about something we can't change. That's what makes us the most crazy. Something we can't change makes us the most crazy. And I mean, I don't think that anybody should change their whole appearance, but if that's what as long as you, I'm okay with it. As long as it's for, if that's something that you want to do and you're not doing. I don't know if I would say I would want to do it just for my man, because my thing is when you start getting extra attention like that, to me that's just a setup for. He think you his, and he done paid for that body. He gonna be beating on that body because he done paid for it. I think about it.
Trying to repo that body,
right? I see you thinking over there.
I was thinking, wow, the beating part. I was like, wow, yeah. I hadn't thought about that. So I've had conversations with a few ladies who have told me that they wanted to get some form of surgery. I just have never seen the benefit of it. Like I've never seen. I mean, like I think that I get that there are certain things about us that we want. The thing that I want about myself, it just didn't happen. Like I wanted to be 6 feet tall. That's all I really wanted. 6 feet tall.
Get your knees done. Get your knees done.
I mean, so that's just not gonna happen. So I think for me, the way into that conversation is to think like, okay, this is how I was created, and I was created for a reason. So if my woman wanted to do it, I would support it, but I wouldn't be like, this is what you need to do. Like we're together, like all of those, things about you are things that are there for a reason. And I'm good, Now would I get some surgery done? Yes. They can take the stomach. They can take the stomach. Yeah. I want this belly's got to go. Like I'm gonna get my medium shirts before it's all over with. So,
I'm sure they got an ab surgery out there right now.
I'm gonna give me some medium shirts. So, but that's not I somebody would ask me to do it, that is merely because that's just vanity. The truth of it. That's just all 100,000% me being vain and knowing that if I put this face with a 6-pack,
get him, get him.
it's over. There's a whole lot of vanity in that. That's
Right.
probably why the Lord does not let me get it, because He knows that would be a whole problem. Let me give him a stomach. Keep the party going. So.
Oh, I know. That's why I got mine. I know.
Yeah. So.
Probably why I'm a president of the Itty Bitty Titty Committee. Yeah.
We will be doing some other things.
Keeps you humble. So right. I just think that like I think that we have to learn. For me, I'm not gonna go there. Again, no. As a man, I'm not asking my woman to do it. If my woman says it's something she wants to do, I will do my best, like James did, to let you know that like this is not something that I need or is going to change how I feel about you, or like, I think you're absolutely beautiful the way you are. I'm gonna say all of that stuff. And if she tells me at the end of the day she want to do it still, okay. As long as it's not something that's going to cause a health risk, I'll support it. But I don't need it. Like, what you trying to get rid of? Some cellulite? Who cares? You worried about it? You worry about
the follow Super Wazam Super Scent. Child, sis found her a doctor, and listen, I'm not telling no secrets because she documented the whole damn process. Sis is snatched. She's still thick, like she got that hourglass. She got the homegirl is wearing tights, high-waisted jockey like sis about to go ride a horse. Getting she's 6 foot, snatched front back. Homegirl's got that dip in the back. That dip. Yeah, she in her body like I have never seen. And honey, she looks beautiful, and like bounce back was nothing. It was amazing. Honey, it's some locals right here that's been touched up that look amazing, and you can tell in the confidence level, like that's what she needed. You know what I mean? Like when they look at themselves now, they feel like this is who I am, this is who I've been, but that body was holding me back type of feeling. You know what I mean? Have you ever seen somebody come out of that like this is who I've always been? That body was just in the way. That's kind of what I see those kind of stuff.
I think the part of me wants to, like, again, it goes back to value to me. Like, what is it that you didn't, what did it do for you? You know what I mean? Like, if this was who you always were, and again, I'm not suggesting that it's a bad thing. I'm suggesting that like it's just like I have friends who have gotten like lap band and stuff like that, and they get it, they lose all the weight, and like, great, I'm glad you lost the weight, but now it's you, it's still you. Like there was an expectation for them that they would feel a certain way once they were smaller, and then it's like, no, you're the same person. The issue, like, let's deal with the emotional, mental stuff. That's for me, the kind of depth that I think through is what are we really doing this for? And again, not saying I wouldn't support my spouse if that's what she wanted to do, but
I mean, but in this scenario, what it's specifically saying that your spouse asked you to do that, I just, I mean, is that a person that already has low self-esteem, or would that be enough to crush your self-esteem? Especially if it's at a point to where you are really, to me, you would really be invested in this person. Like, this would be something serious for a guy. We know how men are attached to their money, so it's something serious for him to offer that. I mean, at that moment, did you already have low self-esteem, or at that moment would that be a blow to your esteem? When you become
if a man were to ask me that, or if a man were to ask,
like your spouse, if your spouse was to, like in this scenario, the exact scenario, he asked her to do, they would like he paid for it. Would you do that if he asked you to do that? Do it. Like with that.
If I had never brought it up before, then that would probably make me question something. Like if I had been wondering, like if he had caught me in the mirror trying to play, like, trying to obviously that there was something going on with me that I felt that I just hadn't expressed. And he was like, you know, if you want to do that, I see how you do, you know, I see how you feel about it. If you wanted to do that, I'll take care of that for you. That would be received differently than we go swimsuit shopping. I come out with my little bitty top and my, you know, my booty shorts, and he's like, you know, I could get you some bigger titties for that. You know what I mean? Like something like that would be like, well, damn, like, I like those. These are okay. Like if I never mentioned that I didn't like these, and now all of a sudden you want to replace them with something else, I probably have a problem with that. But if you had seen me feel some type of way about myself, and I maybe not had expressed that, and you brought that up, I don't think that I would be offended in that way. That would be a way that you tried to reach out to maybe make me feel better. I would take that differently than if you were the first one to bring it up. And I'm perfectly fine with my body. Do not do that. Don't do that.
I mean, we know, I know of one scenario where I guess a couple documented that, and that's what happened. And the girl was like on the OnlyFans page or whatever. Like they invested that to be able to get the surgery for her to get on OnlyFans. Like, I mean, whose idea was that? Was that your idea? And he was like, okay, I'll follow your dream. I know that's kind of tough. I think I would feel some type of way if my man asked me to do that. Even if I have been thinking about it, I just think I feel some type of way. If people like, okay, this is what you need to do. I want you to have this body like this. You know, like.
Yeah, that's totally different scenario.
Yeah, I just think that's different if your significant other.
Like,
I've been shopping around for you a new body.
What was that show? Nip Tuck. Remember that Nip Tuck?
Yeah, it's nice to watch that.
Yeah, that's what it made me think of. Like to him, she was like an art project almost. It wasn't even about how she looked or how, you know, and to her, it was like, I'm doing this because I'm trying to show him I love him, which was totally, I mean, you guys saw the show, but anyway, I'll get to that. But it was just I think it's totally different. I want to know the motive behind a person asking me to get surgery. And Kels, to your point, yes, to the average man, the way they deal with spending that kind of money would mean something. But to a man who has that kind of money,
yeah, it probably won't mean as much to one who don't.
It's really back to that controlling thing. Now, really, that's when I'm like, hold on, my spidey senses are tingling because
literally belong to me. Like I purchased that body type of thing.
I'm saying, and then if it's the 360 surgery, it's just a replacement of fat, so you can go right back to. I mean, if you don't maintain it and work out like a person with that body, you can go back. You gonna go back if you keep the same habits. Your body gonna go right back to where it was. That would. I think I would take. I wouldn't be just quick to say yes. I think I would feel some type of way, or have a whole. I mean, shoot, her whole body was changed. I mean, she looked amazing afterwards, but dang.
Yeah, it was a whole new dish. It was not the same.
Oh, like, oh my gosh, a whole new one.
Yeah. Well, I figured that one would be a good but quick combo, and it was. That one was good, and I'm pretty sure it won't be the last time we talk about this, because it seems as though this conversation is back on a resurgence, especially while we're talking about loving our skin, loving, all of especially as melanated folks, you know what I mean? We're talking about loving all of the things that make us and highlighting those things. So I think the more this subject isn't going away, this profession isn't going away, you know what I mean? Our desire for it is not going away. So we know this conversation is not going to go away. I don't know, when do we have a title for today's show? Or for I didn't see that. I missed it. I want to give sis her proper due.
You want me to say it?
Yes. Or type it somewhere, send it to me somewhere. Okay. Well, if you guys don't know, we are preparing for our very own fire starter, which I have been slacking on my pimping today and did not see what her subject is. So I'm not trying to get in trouble by not doing her title right. So That's what I was trying to get hold of before we bring this on.
You see it?
Yes, that's how it works.
It's in the host chat.
Oh, thank you.
That thing is weird.
Where my ankle? Ooh, I like it. Okay, all right. I like it. Okay, y'all. Now I'm ready to do this good old intro. So we are getting ready to go ahead and slide on in to our very own Miss Cicely Victoria, our fire starter, and she is bringing us another installment of her wonderful wisdom, and I'm super excited now. Now that I know, I'm like, obviously y'all saw the excitement. Our title tonight is "Where My Anchors At?" Like, where my anchors at? Like, I already know where we're going with this. There's no acronyms, but I still think we should get out our pen and pad because I feel like notes are a miss. I think notes are a miss. We're about to find where our anchors at, y'all. We're about to get a hold of our anchors. Ooh, you better glow on this screen, child. Hey, girl. You better.
What's up? Y'all ready for me tonight?
Yes,
ma'am. As per norm, I blame Win. Okay, if you did not know the title, listen.
No.
It's Winifred that's slacking. Okay, just y'all. Kelly Kels, QEQ, y'all gotta keep Win in his place. Okay, he needs guidance. He needs guidance.
I tried to take it, bro. You gotta give me credit.
That's all right. Put it on me. I'ma call it out. We already know. He know me. What's up, Scoop?
What's going
on? What up, squad? How we doing? It is Second Tuesday, and you know what that means. It's your girl, Cicely Victoria, owner and founder of Passion International. My business is to help train and equip people to find their voice of identity so they can stop people pleasing and be empowered, encourage confidence and communication. I'm a certified professional coach. I'm a counselor as well. I am the queen of empowerment. And I set people's lives on fire for a living. And that's why they call me the fire starter. Welcome to Passion Talk, where we give you practical tools for everyday living so you can press into your personal power. How we doing out there tonight? Yes, honey. Time for the anchors. Where my anchors at? Where my anchors at? Where my anchors at? Where my anchors? I made a song. Where my anchors at? It's October. You know what that means. October 2020. You already know what it means. It means it's only 3 more months left of the year. It means we're in the last quarter. It means it's rounding the corner. It means it's time for the anchors to come in. Huh? Come on, let's go for it. I did a post at the beginning of this month. October is here. And I used to run in high school. And if I have any track and field brothers and sisters out there, you know that the anchors are the last leg runners in a relay. Typically, they're the strongest and the fastest who are positioned at the end of a relay to secure the win of the heat. Now, being an anchor is exciting, but being an anchor also causes one to have a lot of pressure placed on them. But watch this now. It's not the focus of the anchor to see how the 3 runners before them ran to determine how they will run. The last leg is only focused on finishing their race strong. And guess what else? They are strong and determined enough to do their best in making up time lost from the previous legs if needed. All right, let's go for it. Now, you know, people want to contact me when I'm working. All right, I'm going to put that on silent right here. Listen, let's start. I'm going to give, some tips, some strategies. You know, it's going to be some definitions in there. You know, it's going to be some words. So QEQ set you up well. Listen, you need your notes on tonight. All right, because you got to put your thinking caps on. We're going to dive a little bit. All right. There are various definitions of an anchor. Number 1, an anchor, one definition of an anchor is that it's a reliable or principal support. It's a reliable or principal support. Principal means primary. Principal means most important. Principal means like foundational, okay? It is significant. So remember that. We're going to do definitions first, then we're going to process. Number 2, an anchor is also known as a device, normally made of metal, used to connect a vessel to the bed of a body of water to prevent the craft from drifting due to wind or current. Okay? Let's walk through this a little bit. Now, you heard a lot of technical words there, but I want to symbolize those words and, make them metaphoric, if you will. So you heard the word vessel and craft. So I want you to put you in that space, okay? I'm going to read the definition again with you having these parallels. Vessel and craft is you. You're the vessel. You're the craft, all right? You're the ship. The body of water is a life source. We know water is a life source, very important. Our bodies are made up majoritively of it. Our earth is made up majoritively of it. You know its significance, right? We need water to live. So the body of water is a life source. Wind. The wind in the definition are distractions. Wind equals distractions. And the waves. The waves are mentioned. Waves I parallel to unstable matters, inconsistencies, and insecurities. Okay. Now, with all that in mind, I want to go through the definition again. An anchor is a device normally made of metal used to connect a vessel, you, to a bed of a body of water, life source, to prevent the craft, you, from drifting due to wind distractions or current, which are waves, being insecurities, instabilities, or inconsistencies and unstable matters. Okay, I hope you caught that. I know that was a lot, but take your notes, break it down, hit rewind, and go for it again, all right? So that is a whole definition within itself, but that's not it. An anchor also means to secure firmly or to fix. And I would like to also offer to fixate, and we'll talk about that a little bit more as well. So to secure firmly or to fix, an anchor. And then lastly, an anchor, as I started the discussion, is the fastest and greatest competitor in a relay race that is responsible for making up ground of the race leader or preserving the lead already secured. Please hear that with your second ear. Okay? I'll say it again. The faster and greatest competitor in a relay race that is responsible for these two things, making up ground of the race leader, all right, or preserving the lead already secured. Now, in this instance, you are the anchor, right? But you're also the race leader and you're the second and leg runner too, okay? You're running all of the legs, all right? But for tonight, we're focusing on you as the anchor, all right? And there are two things that I want you to focus on for this last quarter of the year as the anchor. It's making up ground of the race leader, ground that might have been lost in the prior 3 legs. What are the prior 3 legs? The prior 3 quarters of the year, right? January through March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Making up that ground that might have been lost due to many obvious reasons. Or if you've done well, if you've been running your race at a steady pace, if you've been accelerated and gaining momentum, as a matter of fact, if you've been, on cloud 9, if you've been making great strides, your story is not everyone's story. All you have to do as the anchor is preserve your lead that you've already secured. Isn't that great? Just preserve it. Keep it up, honey. Just keep it up. That's what that means. Now, we're going to talk about qualities that you need to be an anchor. Just a few. I want to run down for you. Then we're going to get a little history lesson about being an anchor in reality as a runner. So qualities to be an anchor. Number 1, you got to be the best version of yourself every day. Okay? So now we're going into you as an anchor running your race of life, right? Number one, you got to be the best version of yourself every day. This is the same for the anchor as a runner, right? It requires you not to be in comparison to anyone else. They were speaking about that a little bit ago as it pertains to the surgery and all, right? And why women might do some of the things they do, because some suggest that women, are doing it in comparison to other women, which I agree with, Kels, is true in a lot of instances. So it requires you to not be in comparison to anyone else when you're being the best version of yourself every day, because I've said this before, I'll say it again. It's always you against you, right? We are our own greatest competition. It's you. It's you against you. All right. Now, there are many different wonderful anchors that we can speak of at an Olympic level. Carl Lewis, Usain Bolt, Flojo, all of them had varied strengths that Olympic level runners and anchors have, but all of them were distinct, and we remember them for their own individual feats and their own individual legendary status. We don't ever get Usain Bolt mixed up with Carl Lewis. You're not going to get, Flojo mixed up with Jackie Jordan Kersee. They're both dynamic, right? Athletes, but we remember them distinctly because they were their own person. And so that's why we love them. So being an anchor requires you to be the best version of yourself every day. I recently learned something further about values. Now, I'm sorry. It requires you also to know your own standards and your values. So being the best version of yourself every day requires you to know your standards and your values. Now, we've talked about standards and values before. I'm the poster child for that. But I learned a little bit more about it that I want to share with you today. Now, this requirement, I parallel to the definition of being a reliable or principled support. Standards and values in your life are reliable and principled support. Okay. I recently learned something further about values from Tony Robbins, which I loved. Okay. And I really think that it will help you to think pragmatically about the functionality of your values and how they should be operating in your life. He had two categories. One was moving toward values and the other was moving away from values. Okay. So we've talked about core values before, right? Your 5 top core values, the most important values of life for you that you should be launching from every day, that you should be checking in with to make every decision that you have to make, especially life altering ones, right? But then it goes further. Now, with these moving away from values and these moving toward values, these are the values that are required to take you into your future. So your core life values may not necessarily be all that you need to become the future version of yourself, your 2030 self, your 2040 self, okay, 10 and 20 years from now. So moving toward values are values that are needed to cultivate to get you into the future destiny version of yourself. Some of these values may look like relentlessness, execution, focus, honesty. Now, moving away from values are values that you need to avoid that keep you from being the best future destiny version of yourself. Some of these values may be fear, regret, uncertainty, rejection, low esteem, so on and so forth. Okay, so please, I want you to take inventory of what moving toward values you need in order to begin to brainstorm now. Okay, don't wait till December. All right, that's too late. Start to brainstorm now. What values do I need to implement and incorporate into my life that would give me a greater guaranteed success of a better version 2021 of myself than I'm experiencing now? And then what values do I need to eliminate? We all deal with weaknesses. We all deal with insecurities and shortcomings about ourselves that we don't prefer. But what's most important is that you are aware of them and you acknowledge them and you don't act like they're not there. Okay? Because they are killing you slowly and softly with their song. The more that you ignore them, right? They are operating. All right. So what I want you to do is I want you to confront it. I want you to look at it, and I want you to begin to eliminate and move away from those values that are not serving you well. Okay. Another quality to be an anchor, to be a closer. Another word we can use for an anchor is a closer, right? And we're focusing on closing and anchoring well at the end of this year. You don't have the mentality that no one else will be affected if you don't follow through. All right. You don't have the mentality that no one else will be affected if you don't follow through. Listen, how important do you think anchors are in a relay race? Huh? Think a little bit, 1 to 10. What's range? 10. 10. Very, very important. That's why position where they are. That's why they choose the particular person that they do. The parallel to this definition is to secure firmly. See, when you are securing firmly, you're cementing your strategy. You're cementing your strategy for your mental fixation, for your mental state that is going to allow you to be an anchor, right? And to do it well. You're not only selfishly thinking of yourself, but you also are connected to many others that are counting on you as well and that are important. Okay. So you can't ever not do your best, hear me clear, and think that it's no big deal. You can't ever not do your best on a daily basis, consciously, and think that it's no big deal. Your behavior and your performance has far-reaching consequences beyond yourself. Progressively, should be improving over time. People are watching you, and you do matter. Even if you don't know them, someone is counting on you. All right? The USC Director of Track and Field, Carol Smith Gilbert, has these things to say about the anchor or about all of the legs of the relay race, and I thought it was quite enlightening. I want to share it with you. The first runner, she says, needs to be, level-headed to open up the race and give the race a clean handoff. So the rest of the legs don't have to do a whole lot of work. So the first leg was your January, February, March, right? And at that time, you want to be level-headed, right? We're the clearest typically that we ever have been. We got a clean slate, right? We love New Year's, giving us the opportunity to have a better start, to have a great start. So first leg runner is like a Carl Lewis. It's someone who can run a curve and break the stagger, Smith Gilbert says. Okay. Now, this is the round in the new year. We have new goals. We have a fresh start. You shake off the old. Smith Gilbert says that athletes often spend too much energy at the start of a race, though. Pay attention. Athletes typically spend too much energy at the start of a race, don't we? At the start of the year, boy, you can't tell us nothing. We on 1,000. We gonna do it all. We gonna take over the world, honey. But the best starters know that they need to conserve to maintain their speed as long as possible. Okay? You don't only have January, February, and March to get through in a year. So you got to make sure that you keep that sustenance to keep throughout the other legs and the other quarters. Okay? The second leg, April, May, June, is one of the longest in this race. Okay, it's one of the longest in this race. Smith Gilbert says the slot is preserved for someone like a Felix. Felix is one of the runners, someone who's sharp and someone who's fast, someone who has a lot of grit in case they have to fight it out. Listen, April, May, June, that doesn't have a lot of holidays in it. So I liken this to being the longest in this race of our year because, it's kind of slow, right? And we have to give a lot of stamina towards that quarter of the year. So pay attention to that. You have to have grit. You have to have grit, right? Because right about that time, right, aren't we beginning to lose steam from the beginning of the year? Aren't we beginning to lose our, January high? Oh, yeah. When it gets to about April, May, yeah, all of the New Year's resolutions, they done, honey. You stop going to the gym, all of that, right? So you got to make sure that you have the grit to keep your pace and to fight it out. The third leg is the steadiest runner. Pay attention. The third leg is the steadiest runner, someone who can hold their own. You need to be sharp to be a third leg, okay? Smith Gilbert says. It's like a Flojo. It's like a Flojo, a great 200-meter runner who can get the stick on the curve. So listen, did you catch it? There's a curve in the first leg. Yeah, you're rounding the corner of a new year. And then when you get to the third quarter, We're at July, August, September. You're rounding another curve. Okay. Yeah. We're coming around the bend again. There are 2 bends. You got to handle the curve. Okay. Because you're bringing her in, but you're not finished yet. You got to keep your momentum, right? So you want to be able to stick on that curve. Baby, listen, I'm having a flashback from my running years. That curve gonna show you the business. Okay. That curve gonna take you out. You need to yeah, you need to be ready for that curve, okay? Because you almost feel like you're going to pass out. All right, so you got to hang in there though, because now it's time for the anchor. Whoo, it's time for the pass off. Come on. We got September, right? And you're passing off the third leg is passing out to October, November, December. And now the anchors are coming in. The anchor leg now, Smith Gilbert says, is the shortest. But it is a heated race, and you need like a Usain Bolt, someone who is hard nosed, who can close the race. Someone who is fierce, someone who is savage. Come on, someone who can close the race. The anchor leg is the most important leg in the 4x400. This runner has to bring it in. They have to bring it home. Either lengthen the lead or run somebody down. They have to lengthen the lead or they got to run somebody down. Listen, that means that we ain't friends no more. Listen, it ain't personal. This is business. If you're not about, I'm saying, advancing me, if you're not about making me better, get out of my way. I don't have time for foolishness. That's what the last leg is about. Huh? Yeah. Okay. So if you tolerate it, a lot of, just frivolous foolishness, trivialities, the first 3 legs, go ahead and get that out the way, move that out the way, because it's time to focus now and be about your business. All right. Smith Gilbert says, after all, the gold is on the line, honey. Listen, the gold is on the line. Okay. In your 4th quarter, you ain't got time to play no games. It's right now. It's right now. We're positioned to be the closer because the gold is on the line. And lastly, outer competition is a scarcity mentality. If you're only focusing on that which is external, it's too scarce. That's too small. You must launch from the place of abundance. That means you have to win on the inside. You got to win in here first, okay? All anchors know, listen, they have already talked themselves into the win before they even get their stick, before they even get the pass off and the baton. They're not second guessing themselves. So you got to launch from a place of abundance. Parallels to this definition is the faster and greatest competitor in a relay race that makes up for the time lost in the former legs or keeps the lead already established. That's the definition that parallels here. Steve Jobs says, don't try to be better than the competition, but be different. Your strengths are the only ones who can depend on during the anchor leg. Your strengths are the only one that you can depend on during an anchor leg. It's your last chance. It's your last chance, you guys. You cannot afford to look back or look to either side of you at this point. If you do, your race is over. Why? Because that race and the 4x400 in October through December is simply too fast. It's too fast of a race for you to do that. It flies, and so does the last 3 months of the year due to major holidays within every month. It makes sense. So what does all of this mean to you? It means that it doesn't matter how your January through September looked for you. If you lost time and you lag behind, because it's the last leg now, honey. Okay, you got to forget the former things, forget the past spot. It's the last quarter of the year. The baton is in your hand. And guess what? You are the anchor. You have the strength and you have the speed to make up the time that you need if necessary, and you will finish strong. It's not the start that counts, honey. It's not the start that counts most. It's the finish. Anybody great will tell you that. So I say to you, come on, anchors, bring it home, and let's finish 2020 strong, okay? That's your passion talk for tonight. I love you all. Hey.
Okay. Anchor.
Yeah. Yeah, come on, anchors. Yeah. Y'all enjoyed that.
Yeah. Okay.
Wonderful. Well, you all know I love you
right,
so much.
Going,
I love you all so much. That is my time. I want y'all to meditate on that. You are an anchor, honey. Get your baton and run. Run to you're finished. Listen, you've just been a part of Passion Talk. We've given you practical tools for everyday living so you can press into your personal power. Until next time, my loves, if you need to contact me, firestarterpassion@gmail.com. Like my business page on Facebook, Passion International. I appreciate you. Leave me a review if you know enough about me. And until next time, I want you to stay in purpose, stay in passion, stay in power, and stay on fire. Man,
Yeah.
come on, Anchor.
Let's go.
Bye. Love y'all. Mwah.
Love you too.
Bye.
Mhm.
Let's fire starter.
Right. Yeah.
Lit.
Did
Stay
that.
lit.
Almost spoke in tongues.
Oh shit.
Yo, Shondo is pleased.
That is what's up. You trying to
That was good.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and close it out. She done brought us in.
She done took us to the altar.
She done took us all the way. You got anything going on, Kel?
Are we ready to?
We waiting on Bear by the air. So y'all stay tuned. Y'all gonna enjoy it. Also, the new maxi skirts are in. We got some new men's jackets that I can't even keep samples of. They buy them off my hands, y'all. I'm trying to get them up on the
Wait, which jacket is this? Hold on.
Father jackets, the bomber jacket.
How much are they?
We got some knit joints. They start at 35. Starting at 35, depending on your size. So yes, check that out. They should be up on the website by Thursday. So yeah, we got some www.curvykittens.com. Shop.
What size they go up to? Look at this.
They go up for it. They go up for it.
Listen, you're gonna be in that paper out here directly. He'll be in that website.
This is part of our matchy Curvy Kitten and Cool Cat. It's just that we Mr. Mel Winter, y'all. Y'all can do it by yourself, but we got items that you can match it up with your. If you're a cool cat and you're a curvy kitten, or vice versa. So, excited about that. Yes.
Do you have? You said you have some other cool cat stuff too, right? Coming out.
Yes. It's the jackets and a few tees. So.
Okay. All right. Oh, let me do that. Sorry. Okay. All right. Anything going on with Elegance by Design?
Elegance by Design. Yeah, there's a lot going on with Elegance by Design. I just don't.
Like, actually,
right. There's quite a bit going on with Elegance by Design. That I will tell you guys about next week because I want to have all my stuff together. That's what I want to do. There's a lot. Stay tuned. There is a lot. Good stuff. Got good reviews on the good stuff. Yes, we'll talk about that.
You see my package, by the way?
Yes, I did. I sent you information.
Y'all don't even know. Did y'all see? Y'all didn't even see. I was all.
Yeah. And it's on the way. Hey.
Bottom, like.
I cackled when I saw that. I said, "This nut got his thing." His last scrapes. That's the way you get your knuckle and run that around.
My hand's so fat I can't fit them in there.
Oh yeah, my coiling custard. I got the big mega. I got the wholesale supersize.
Man, was the big one too, Karen. I was like,
that
she got the you got the unreleased, undisclosed amount. Did nobody?
Yeah. So. Hey, I'm just saying.
I'm still gonna need coiling custard till the next summer.
Yeah, well, hey, I don't know. Y'all get y'all coins right, cause I'm in the game now.
Hey,
with the super size.
Yes, she is.
That's all right. What else we got going on? We didn't do this at the beginning, so let me do this now. Of course, you can always watch the replay of us on YouTube. The Scoop Show. So on YouTube, go to the Scoop Show on YouTube and subscribe today. And of course, like, share, and comment all of the show. So you can definitely what post? I don't even know what that means. What post? What post does that mean? Somebody said it. Okay, all right. Well, somebody tell me when you so make sure you go and like and subscribe that, so that way we can you can, again, if you miss anything, you can catch up. And we are live on YouTube as well during the show. So, and you can
when this their blue app starts tripping, you
Yeah.
can slide over to the red app.
Yes.
So also, what else I got? Little Black Book of Business, of course, if you are a business owner. Now, this is holiday season and people are buying. So you need to be in the Little Black Book of Business so people can find your business, people who want to support Black owned businesses, people who want to support business that are intentional about providing superior service. So join today, as you can see, it's $9. Not and y'all, you ain't going broke over $9. So join today. Go to patreon.com/LBBOB and get into the Little Black Book of Business. And if you want to be a customer, you want to shop with us, then go to our Facebook group, Little Black Book of Business, and join our group and start shopping with our business partners. What else I got? I think that's all I got for tonight. Get your curvy kitten. Get your Elegance by Design.
Yes.
Yeah, I got some waiting for Baya buy. I got some stuff coming up as well.
Oh, I can wait.
Y'all just
hilarious.
Hold on tight. We doing things over here. That's in the words of evangelist T.I. Big things are popping over here.
Did he enunciate it like that too? Big things are popping. Okay, all the G's. Okay. Okay.
So y'all, we appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. We really appreciate you. We do this. This show is fun, but it is only as fun as it is because of you. So we thank you. We hope that you are learning, that you are growing, that you are through these conversations. You are saying, I can improve my relationship. Yes. Yeah. You want to change the generation by raising the conversation. We'll see y'all next week. If you could just give it, I should just spend it while you stay here. But you stay with me, and you try to tease me. So I try to keep it low when you knock me to the floor, cause I don't want to cry tears. Would you believe this love is for you? And would you take this long, sweet road and pull it together? Baby, if this is goodbye, I want one last try. You just can't give up. Can't you see the tears in my eyes? Cause I'm gonna try. Baby, I'll treat you right. Just give me one more try. If this is goodbye, this is goodbye. Have a good night. Love you. Be out.